I don't like the idea of a body type trend coming back because our bodies are not trends. However, when it comes to like 2000s inspo, fashion inspo, this could be an exciting thing for us. Hello, you are joining me from my couch today. I love the coffee chat with Tara and Jerez. We were super chill and we were able to like enjoy our coffee and have a really good conversation. And I loved the conversations after that sparked from you all. So thanks for those of you who reached out. And today I was like, you know what? I want this to be kind of like a conversation too. And what I mean by that is I want to hear your thoughts on this topic because it's something I've been thinking about for a while now as I've started to see things come out. And then I've also started to have people kind of ask me questions or send me memes or just kind of like ask my opinion about different things. So we are going to be talking about loving yourself, loving your body, embracing who you are, even when, different trends start to come back. So if you don't know, if you haven't seen like how I did my rebrand of the Confidently Uncomfortable podcast, is I went all in with the 90s jam because I started to really tap into these things and it just lit me up. Like my inner child was just so happy. I'll talk more about that later and kind of the impact it had for me. And I love, seeing things come back in, and I think embracing things instead of trying to immediately combat any type of change or things cycling through and coming back around. Like it's really easy for us to be like, ugh, you guys, like this is so dumb. Like, and just bash other people's things that bring them joy. But I really want to embrace those things. However, something that really I needed to talk to you guys about was when I saw the New York Times article, and I have it pulled up, but basically the article was titled "Bye Bye Booty, Heroin Chic is Back." And first of all, the way that they phrase this, immediately I was just pissed, because the thing about them saying bye bye booty, heroin chic is back, is they're literally taking two different body types of women and they're pitting us against each other. And this is what bothers me, is like our bodies are not a trend. So the thing about these 2000 trends coming in, I think that we can find a way to embrace it, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But when for someone like the freaking New York Times to say like, oh, this body type is out, this body type is back in, is just bullshit. And that's what feeds into disordered eating and body dysmorphia and people really struggling to love themselves, is when you are seen as like, oh, you're not in style anymore. Like you are no longer seen as worthy of love because of what your body looks like. And this is what drives me insane, because it should not be that. Like our bodies, Jamil said this. If you don't know her, she's amazing. She said, our bodies are not trends. Say it with me. And that's so true. Is like, stop saying that, okay, this is no longer trending. Like, we need to break up with that. And that's why I want to take this 2000s like throwback, like bringing these different fashion trends back in, and instead of, let's cut out the body dysmorphia that was associated with it. And I'll talk more about what I mean by that later, because I think there was a lot of pressure associated with certain things, like, for example, low-rise jeans. Like, it was very much like, okay, well, you need a flat stomach and you need this. And so I tried to see both sides. I did some research on this topic because I was curious about what, like, Gen Z thought about this, and if they saw this bringing in different types of body dysmorphia and things like that. So we're going to kind of collectively talk through this, and I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. And there are going to be certain things that you might agree with me on, and there might be things that you disagree with me on, but like, that's the whole point. Like, I want it to feel more like a conversation. So I don't want it to end here. I want it to be like, you share this episode with someone and you ask them, or you start up a conversation about it. And my ultimate goal is for us to just start to connect with each other, where maybe the world and society is starting to pit us against each other. Like, I am so frustrated when they try and pin millennials against Gen Z. And I'm like, what if we just like learned from each other? Like, I don't think that there's any benefit to pitting other generations or age groups against different people, because we are better together. We're stronger together. I talked about that with Taryn on the last episode, is like, if we can start to see that, it can make such a beautiful thing. So let's just get back to kind of the facts about this change. So when this term heroin chic came up, it was not a good thing. It was associated with a lot of like, really putting certain body types on like display as being like the standard, and it was most often a not healthy body type, or it was just not a body type that everyone could achieve. Like most likely it was genetics, or they were going through extreme dieting where it was happening because of this really, really disordered eating. And so, the 60s to 2000s, like the thing about healthy dieting, they were like, everyone was dieting and they acted like it was, no, we're eating healthy and everything was fat free and sugar free and taste free. And, it was really just disordered eating that was socially acceptable. Like all those diets that like I went on with my mom, and all the diets that you probably went on as a kid, adult, or maybe you're still dealing with fad diets, they really did. You thought that you were doing the right thing. You thought that that's what we were supposed to do because I'm the wrong body type. I shouldn't be this body type, so I need to change. And this is what I should look like. And so there's this image of body types. So I don't like the idea of like a body type trend coming back, because our bodies are not trends. However, when it comes to like 2000s inspo, fashion inspo, this could be an exciting thing for us. So let's kind of work through that a little bit more. So I want to stay focused on body image. I really think like that I did see a lot of articles that I was reading that were saying like, it's so bad that these trends are back and this is not a good thing and it's really bad for everything. And it felt very like fear mongering, like it was just trying to make everyone feel like any kind of change is bad. But like, I think we can approach these new trends, like whatever they are, we can talk through them later. I'll actually go through a list because I think they're funny and I'm curious if you like them or not. We can approach it differently if we take all that we learned about body positivity, body acceptance, and really start to pour into it. Like, I think it would be cool to see these types of trends with all different shapes and sizes, with all different ethnicities and backgrounds, and just seeing this on every single type of person, I think could be really, really cool, and almost like a healing for a lot of people's inner child. If you grew up in the 2000s where you were really struggling with loving yourself, and you did see these trends and associate a specific body type with it, and you never really saw yourself represented in that space, I think it can be a really cool thing to almost take back that power and empower yourself through experimenting with fun new trends, putting yourself out there. That's why I'm all about like, wear the crop top, you wear the shorts, because we were taught for so many years that like we weren't allowed to because we didn't fit a specific body type. And I want us to break free from that. And we've seen more people lately preaching health at every size and reminding people that health can look different for everyone. It's not a one size fits all. You don't look at someone and immediately know where they're at with their health, and really their health is between them and their doctors, not you. But I do think people are starting to adopt this into different things. Now, the other side of this, are beauty standards and like the Eurocentric beauty standards still often the ones getting the most attention? Absolutely. That has been the case for centuries, where things are getting pushed in that way. And then if they aren't pushed in that way, they're getting stolen as far as trends, and then getting accepted once they are in that like Eurocentric mindset and, essentially the white standard. And so I think that's important to note as well. Like, I want everyone to be stepping into this if it feels good for them. I want these trends that come back to not make people feel isolated, but make it feel fun again, and start to see people and just lift other people up. I just don't like seeing people just completely trash on people's whatever people are wearing. Like, I think it's so funny that like the business, I wore a blazer for the first time in forever, like the business casuals coming back. And I remember going to clubs, I don't know if it was high school or college, don't judge me, mom, but going to them and wearing I think it was like a business vest or like the thick belt and like the business like skirt thing, but making sure it was like a little bit shorter. And I look back and I kind of laugh at it, but it's funny. I don't know. It's cute. Like, adopt whatever you want. Like, don't feel like there's no benefit to trashing on someone's like trend that's coming back or being like, I could never do that. I think it separates it more than brings us together. And that doesn't mean you have to wear what other people are wearing, but I think we should start just embracing things a little bit more. So I think we've made a lot of progress. And like I said earlier, like if we continue to support the representation of all bodies and promoting, embracing our body, and even seeing all types of humans in these new trends, I think it can help redefine the 2000s era to be more accepting to all. Like that would just show a beautiful growth and, you know, the fact that we've progressed a little bit in life. So I would love to see that. If we continue to lift each other up and really focus on that, I think that could be huge. I do want to go through kind of like different trends and this is all just like your opinions. There's nothing wrong with it, but I want you to think like, would you wear it or not? So let me pull up, I have a list, so hopefully they can edit this out because I don't want it to take too long. Thanks guys. This one says, expect to see more bras as shirts. Like, I don't care. It's a crop top. That doesn't really bother me at all. So I just think that that's funny, that like Gwen Stefani look. Or expect bras to disappear altogether. Oh my gosh, women aren't wearing bras. That's chaos. Y'all, I have not worn a bra since 2019 and I don't plan on wearing one then. I don't know if that's a trend. I think it's more of a choice. So that's so funny to me that people are talking about that. Apparently a lot of denim's coming back, which is really fun. Low-rise jeans. Okay, so I actually remember when low-rise jeans started coming back again. Things cycle, I think, every 20 years. It feels like it's going faster, but I also think our idea of time makes us think it's going faster as we get older. But with low-rise jeans, I remember I was like, oh my gosh, like I could never, like this is, never, that would be terrible. I would hate that while I'm sitting here with my skinny jeans and high-waisted skinny jeans. And the thing that's funny is like, why did I feel that way for so long? Well, I remember the terms that would come out around that is like, oh, well, do you have a thigh gap or do you have a muffin top? And just like the fat phobia associated with those trends that I think are a huge problem. And it's like, well, could you embrace some of these trends and allow yourself to just be, and you don't have to say yes. I did this again as a way to like heal. Like I remember I put on some lower pants. I'm not like super low rise, y'all. It's just like I'm not up to my belly button with pants anymore. And I wore them, and at first I started to judge. I was like, oh my gosh, wait, my waist is way wider than I thought it was, or something like that. And, you know, those old thoughts come up. I'm being super vulnerable and real with you guys. Those still come up. And so it came up and I was just like, but why does it matter? Like, why do I care so much? And it's like, I'm having to break up with that again, what I'd been through previously. And sometimes I think instead of avoiding something that was triggering you, it can be really beautiful to actually like go all in with it. That's why like, I think it was a good thing for me to do those, to wear the lower pants and not really care about it, not stress about it too much. Does that mean I'll be wearing low-rise jeans all the time? Probably not, but don't, you know, the same reason that you wore high-rise jeans. Like I remember the reason I hated jeans in general, like they were so tight when I was like getting back into wearing jeans, and I was wearing these like high-waisted jeans and I would take them off and they'd like, the freaking button was imprinted on my stomach. It was just like not comfortable. And so instead of thinking that I had to squeeze into something, finding something that actually feels good, I think can be a good option for you for sure. I love, so like the Lizzie McGuire type style, like I've been wearing butterfly clips and all that stuff. I've been having like a silk scarf and wearing it as a band, like a shirt. I guess it's like I don't know. Trucker hats are supposed to be coming back, which is so funny to me. I'm glad Uggs came back, but I will say, okay, wait, hold on. So all these things coming back, it's very easy these articles that I was reading, like, it's just, man, it's like they're straight up trash talking other people. And I'm like, who cares? The things that I used to wear were like layered up and crazy. Like, why do we need to be like so harsh on each other? It just feels kind of dumb at this point. But I'm seeing a lot of backlash and even bullying around certain trends returning. Granted, if gauchos return, I will be shocked, but I think it might have already happened. I don't know. But my take is like, wear whatever the fuck you want. Seriously, wear whatever the fuck you want, and don't talk shit about anyone else's bodies or anyone else's choices. The end. That's it. That's it. That's the solution. If we do that, then people can just live freely and experiment with clothing and try out new things and not feel weird about it. And that can be a really good thing. So a little positive thing that I'm seeing shift here. Okay. So personally, like I said, these trends for me are definitely healing my inner child. The other thing is like the redefinition of like people calling things a dupe. They're like, oh yeah, those are UGG dupes, or this is a Lululemon crossover bag dupe. And it's so funny because they reiterate the term dupe. Like it's so cool to be able to find a duplicate option that's like a lower price option. But like when I was growing up, that was considered fake. Oh, no. That was considered fake. And because it was considered fake, you were made fun of for that. And like I said, I'm seeing a lot of backlash, and I really see it as like an opportunity to, heal your inner child. So maybe these trends are coming back, and back when they were popular when you were younger, maybe you weren't able to afford certain things, or maybe, you felt like you couldn't get those things. And so I'm really I'm basically a kid with adult money right now. Like I'm wanting to try these different things and being open to them and not feeling like I have to apologize for wanting to dress different ways and try new things. Like we couldn't always afford name brands. So I love that they're doing the whole like dupe is like a good thing. So I feel like I love saying like, yeah, I got a dupe of this or whatever. The other thing about like these trends for me is like, I was afraid to try new looks and trends that were coming out, and it was because I was bullied in middle school, and I started to just try to blend in. Like after middle school, it was like I really had lost my confidence, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to try to do what everyone else is doing. I didn't really step outside my comfort zone with those things, and when you're overweight at that point too, like you started getting your head in. So now I'm like, wait, I'm going to allow my inner child to take charge of my wardrobe and have fun with what I'm wearing, even though I'm in a bigger body than when I first saw these trends come about. And I felt like I wasn't like the right size then, or wishing I could, shop in the petite section, or, oh my gosh, or crying in the Abercrombie dressing room, trying to force my body into a 00, then walking out of the like dark cologne cloaked dark, did I mention dark store, feeling so disappointed and shameful about my body. Like I have all these associations with that. So it's like, I think it's easy for us to just immediately be like, oh, this is bad. This is a bad thing. And I'm not going to speak for everyone, but it could be a good opportunity to try different things. And I did look at different, I saw a couple like tweets that I got real into the weeds with this one. So I'll post this with my posts. I'm going to try Meme Mondays, and where I'm posting memes about the episode. But I had this one that I saw, hold on. Okay. So one was the side of like, it's a funny tweet, but it says, we were all making fun of 2000's fashions up until about 2 months ago. What the fuck happened? So I just think that's funny because trends are really going fast, I swear. But I think time is just like flying by. The fact that it's been 3 years since the panorama is crazy to me. But another girl tweeted, and I'll tag her in my post, but she said like, I work at uni, which is college. So I work in college and see how the undergrads wear trends. I don't think they care either. They don't care about the bodies because, they're able to kind of be more relaxed about it, it seems like. And, it's funny where when I was growing up is like, I felt like I wasn't allowed to wear certain trends, or I didn't belong in those things. So I say freaking do it. And so if you have this like inner mean girl thought saying like, oh, I could never wear that, or I swear it's because we grew up, or I grew up with like that what not to wear freaking Stacy, whatever her name is. Ugh. And she would just like, every single goal for the person was to cover them up. It was like, this is what's best and most flattering for your figure. Okay, this is what hides X, Y, and Z. I'm like, why can't I embrace my roles? Why can't I like be able to sit down and not care if my stomach changes because I'm in a new position? And like, I've gotten better at that by wearing certain things and wearing a crop top and being able to sit down and just let my stomach do its thing. it's an amazing feeling. Being able to buy pants in the right size and not feel bad about it. That's a really good feeling. And instead of trying to squeeze into a different size, like that number is bullshit anyways. So just we are meant to, like, our bodies are what they are, and clothes are meant to fit us, not the other way around. So if you need to change the size, don't worry about it. That doesn't matter. But if you want to try new things, try new things. And I'm not going to speak for everyone. Like, some of these trends coming back, it could be super triggering for you. Like, maybe it's starting because you have so tied, or just like generationally, we've tied, a certain body type with specific trends. It's making you think, oh no, I have to look a certain way, or I can't wear this, or it's going to start changing how everyone feels about different things with body image and all of that. It's like, okay, well then we need to be that light in the world. We need to combat that. And the way to combat that doesn't mean bashing the trends. It doesn't mean bashing the women who are wearing these clothes. It doesn't mean bashing the women who maybe even fit the archetypal body type in that clothes, because that's not helping either. It's about, you finding a way to embrace your body, you speaking kindly about yourself, and then other people are going to see that. And that's an amazing thing. Like, I know for me, my confidence is wearing a crop top, but that doesn't have to be yours. But it doesn't mean you need to put down other people who might be wearing different things. Like I said earlier, like, I really thought low-rise pants were like, they'd be impossible for me because they were a big factor in aiding to my body dysmorphia. But it wasn't the pants themselves. It was how people spoke about people's bodies if they didn't look a certain way in that pants. So if we can shut that shit down, and in those conversations, there is a really, really beautiful way to heal this with people. So I've truly healed my relationship with my body, and it's crazy. It is weird going on a vacation and not like being hyper focused on my food, and being hyper focused on having to work out every day, and being afraid that I looked a certain way in bikini. Like, it is a wild feeling getting to that point. Like, I remember coming back from Hawaii this past week, and I was like, wow, I like had so much space to actually relax because I wasn't caught up in my head about stuff like I used to be with previous vacations. I used to sacrifice so much just because I thought I had to look a certain way, or like work off before a vacation or before a photo shoot. And that's just not the case. So it's like a breath of fresh air. So I know that some people still might be dealing with that, but I don't think it's necessarily the trends themselves. I think that there's something deeper going on, and that's what I want to talk about in the next episode. So I had to heal my relationship with my body. It came through unconditional self-love, but also finding a way to heal my relationship with food. So if you're finding yourself still triggered in the dressing room, you're definitely gonna want to tune into the next episode. Join us with this next episode where we talk about healing your relationship with your body through your relationship with food. So let me know your thoughts on this episode. I definitely want to know like what trends you're like, oh, I am down for this trend, I am not down for this trend. Remember, it's not body types. We are not talking about body types, because bodies are not trends. So they don't get to be like that. New York Times article made me livid that it said bye bye booty, heroin chic is back. No, those are two different body types, and we're not doing that. We're not pitting women against other women. We are all supporting each other. That is going to be the difference in the rise of these new trends. We're doing it differently. So if you see me in my butterfly clips and my crop tops and my cargo pants, embrace it, okay? And when you see someone else wearing something different, embrace it. You don't have to put on the clothes, so why are you so hell-bent over what other people are wearing? That's all I got to say about that. Leave your judgment at the door, and thank you guys for tuning in for this one. I'll see you on the next episode.